Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome to Wake Up Patriots. I'm awake. You're awake. Apparently, Chris is awake too because he's already on screen. I didn't have to do an introduction. Good morning,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah, exactly. I thought I'd wake up a little bit.
He's more on it than the Democrats are regarding the State of the Union last night. So there you go.
Exactly. As Bill Clinton would say, I was right on top of it.
That's right. And I feel your pain, Chris.
You know what?
Yeah,
My ears are in pain every time I hear that guy talk anymore.
we're going to talk a lot about pain this morning, folks, and
Ooh,
it's the kind of pain that endures. That pain that you take Tylenol for, and it just doesn't take away the pain, right, Chris? I mean, that was painful last night. It was well,
ooh.
it was horrific. Can I use the word horrific? I think I can. Yeah.
Oh, the
So
pain of it all.
where do we
The pain of
begin?
it all, Tony.
Where do we begin? Yeah.
It was so painful. That cowardly clump. Anyway, yes, that's how painful
I
it
mean,
was. As painful as a Dr.
yeah,
Smith routine.
yeah. It's like I'm trying. I can't even put my finger on it because they were so badly behaved. It's not even like high school. Like I've compared them to a high school debating team. They
No, no. High school
they
debating
aren't
teams are
even to that
good.
level.
Now, this
I
is like a
mean,
playground when the kids say, "I know you are, but what am I? I'm rubber,
yeah.
you're glue." And of course, they wear their matching colors. They hold their matching signs.
Oh, no, Chris. I got to stop you there. They weren't matching. It was the frauds and fuchsia. I mean, they had fuchsia. They had pink. I mean, they were all over. They couldn't even color coordinate for God's sake. I
Well,
mean, think about it. They were all. And by the way, think about the insult to women. They're all wearing pink after the Senate voted against women 2 days ago. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to allow men to beat up on women in women's sports, and we're good with that. That's fine. They're letting. I mean, literally, and then they have the gall to show up and say we're wearing pink to support women, and they can't even coordinate to like that one dude that pretends to be a woman was wearing a dark shade of fuchsia, and then you
oh
had
yeah.
another woman who was wearing like a light shade of pink that was so light it looked like it was like white.
Well,
So what? Let me ask you. What do
all
you
right.
think? We got Dr. Corsi showing up soon too, don't we?
Yes, he'll be into
We'll
also
ask
some
him too.
commentary. Yes,
We'll ask him too. But what do you think their message was last night, the Democrats?
their message was, "We are morons. We will not. We will stand against anything the Orange Man says, no matter what it is. And we
Yeah.
were here to destroy your country, and now you're stuck with a great country, and we are pissed." In fact, was there anybody more? I understand that the broads were addressed for some reason. Look, Democrats don't really think highly of women in politics. I don't care what anybody says. The way they
No.
packaged Kamala Harris as a Barbie doll and pop star, that's how they think of women in politics.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
Right. Women, they think women have no brains. Now, Kamala Harris, special case, but probably nobody was more upset and angry than Al Green. And not the singer. I'm not talking about the singer, by the way,
Yeah, I know.
Tony.
Well, I'm waiting you bringing him up, or are you gonna?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Here he is.
I
Yeah.
just wanted your comment on Al Green because I always love to hear what you have to say
No,
about
I
Al
thought you were
Green.
gonna bring it up. I thought you
Uh,
were gonna bring him up.
well, this Al
Did you got
Green
him?
did not sing "Let's Stay Together." He was more for divisiveness. But let's hear him or
We
watch
won
him.
the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Look at Johnson's eyes roll. Look at him point the cane to him. He's like, you whippersnappers. You shouldn't be up in that podium. Get off my damn lawn. I'm going to get you. I'll call the cops on you. Pants on the ground. I like the pants on the
Wow.
ground guy.
I just yeah.
His- Let's watch a little more. Drowned out by the USA champ. Now he kept going, as a matter of fact. Al Green just
Yeah, he wouldn't stop.
he just wouldn't shut up and wouldn't stop.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
That's your warning.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the sergeant at arms to restore order to the joint session.
Yeah.
Love it. Nobody had to take charge. Nobody whipped out on this one.
I don't know. It's like how much more evidence do they need that F around, find out? You're going to find out. I mean, it's not like they're like
Finding that members
not
continue
serious
to
about
engage in willful
Exactly.
and
Here
concerted
it comes.
disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order.
out of here.
Remove
You're
this
out.
gentleman from the chamber.
Look at him. He is too angry. Yeah, if Jamal
Get
Bowman
the
was here.
cane, head to the and look behind him. Look right there. So I'm talking about. Look, it's all
The-
fuchsia.
Yep. They're all
broads
they're
and
pretending
fuchsia.
to match. That's right. Here's the funny thing. Everybody's like whispering to himself, man, I'm going to go out there and pull the smoke alarm. I'll pull a Jamal Bowman. But yeah, look at
He
them.
wanted to pull something, but I don't know about if it's a smoke alarm or not. Just saying.
Oh.
Look at that. He's waving the cane around. You're all knuckleheads.
I'm going to get you. You're going to pay the fool.
So stop it right there, Chris. So I'll address it. So I don't know if you all saw that he did a short interview when he got out. I don't want to play it because it's not worth playing, but his excuse was, it's all about the children. I'm doing this because they're going to cut Medicaid and Medicare, and there's poor people. There's poor people. And that's his excuse. Like, oh, there's poor people. Yeah, because you made them poor. The Democrats have been essentially poverty pimps, to use the term that's been used to describe Marilyn Maxine Waters, who's another, like, just saying. And for that guy to get up there and just, I don't know what the point was, because I don't think his constituents benefited from this. Nobody's cutting Medicaid, Medicare. I sit on several boards here. I sit on two of the boards I sit on have to do with distributing Medicaid to the poor, because that's part of the job. It's the social construct, the safety net. Nobody's screwing with that. And yet this guy had to stand up and make a fool of himself in such a way that I don't think these people are coming back. And by the way, another quick note for those following me on X, 80% approval of the president's overall, and that's CBS. CBS is saying that 80% of the people enjoyed President Trump's speech, and apparently Al Green didn't enjoy it. I guess these aren't the best what's that? This isn't the best breakfast I ever had, Brad. I want my money back.
Green, I'll tell you what, he was probably in that 20% over there. He made sure, he probably even called 2 or 3 times just to make sure CBS counted him a little extra. Remember, Democrats get to vote a little more often than most other people. So that's going to be an interesting development for the future. But the Democrats, look, Jamal Bowman didn't come back from pulling the fire alarm, and his own party fired him. Al Green, people like that, I have a feeling they appeal to emotionalists, and we still have a huge percentage of emotionalists. The 47% is not a laughing matter. These people will, no matter what they do, vote for their own interests, or they think their own interests as far as getting handouts from the government. They're going to vote Democrat because that's what they're promised. They're scared.
So,
the full
I
scare
want to
tactic.
go through that in a bit, because one of the things President Trump did is he went through a list of insane spending projects. And I think that's what's really going on here. I think Al Green, not Al Gore. That's a different wacky Al. Is there something about the name Al? Because you got Weird Al Yankovic, Al Green, Al Gore. It's like people who get the name Alf. I don't know.
Hey, Willie, don't eat the
There's
cats.
a pattern.
They're eating the cats.
There's a pattern emergence. Anyway, back to Al. So do you think he'll do an upgraded theme from Shaft?
That guy is not as cool as Chef. I believe that was Isaac Hayes, by the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just listening to it this morning. That's a great song. But no, it's a take. It's a play on words. He could do a new theme from Shaft, because he's going to get shafted. Just saying. It's coming.
I don't know. I think his constituents will keep him there. They're probably like, yeah, right on. Yeah, you and Jasmine Crockett, right on. Yeah, those people, they're going to stay. They'll be around. They're just going to be
if
agitated.
Jasmine Crockett and Al Green had a baby, I wouldn't want to see it. So just saying, and it could happen.
Yes, it'll be both
They're
street
from
and
Texas.
annoying. Yes,
They're from Texas. They could they could do like a version of Dallas with insane people. That could be kind of fun.
Again, starring Al Green. What was it? As you said, Jasmine Crockett, and of course, Robert Francis O'Rourke as the dad.
Yeah.
Good old Beto.
So yeah. No, it's insane. So anyway, what happened after this though? It got worse, and they had those little placards, those little things like
the little
I
circle
smell.
signs.
Yeah, it says like I smell musk or something like that. Wasn't that? Was I smell you, babe?
Yep, musk steals. It had false. It had everything else. It was very cult-like. They like to call us a cult, but their behavior was extremely cult-like.
Right. It was a cult.
Yes, it is a cult. It still is, and that's the only thing the Democrats proved yesterday, that they are in fact a cult. Their cult leaders told them, don't even celebrate your own wins. Don't celebrate a child, a teenager who beat cancer.
Right. Or the return of the prisoner in Russia. President Trump talked about returning what's his name, the teacher, and they didn't applaud that.
No, they were very happy that Joe Biden went out of his way to trade a major arms dealer for some pot smoking minor WNBA player.
Yeah, well, we think it's a girl, but we don't really know because there's so many. They can't define a girl on their side. We can. But I want to hit that real quick because not hit a girl. I hit them. I don't want to be clear about this, but I think it's interesting that is it yesterday the Democrats before the speech had done this video. Have you seen this video that they all read the same script and they all filmed it?
And then there's somebody put together a montage of them together reading
it
all sitting the same way.
The Libs of TikTok did a great job. Credit to them. We follow each other on X. Did a montage of 22 senators who basically did the same thing. And they read the same, they had the same mannerisms. They were directed. In other words, to your point, Chris, they're a cult.
Exactly.
They're a cult.
Yep.
It's like Reverend Jim Jones came back from the grave to direct this video, you know?
Hey, there's a reason Reverend Jim Jones was very involved with the far left in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was a major, him and the Socialist Party were intertwined. And there's a reason people from the left seem to be, and this is history. I'm not just saying this as a political guy making a joke. I'm saying this is history. Look it up. People on the left and far left seem to always want to find something to worship, and they seem to be more drawn to cults.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're brainless. I mean, it's like I always post, well, not always, but often I post the Bob Hope zombie video from on YouTube, you know, where he talks about the oh my God, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like an old like 1940s movie. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
let me bring it up. Let me see.
I think you got me on a reference.
Yeah, let me hold on. I got to find it.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Oh, here it is. Here it is. It comes up if you guys want to. You want to play along at home. It comes up if you Bob Hope zombie, Bob Hope Democrat line. So it's basically Bob Hope on zombies and Democrats.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to put it. I'm going to give it to you in the chat so you can.
I actually have it, my good man.
Okay. So it's pretty short. We should play that because I think it's representative of what happened. That's it right there. Here we go.
Let's roll it.
You live here?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
There you go. There you go.
Still
That's it.
relevant today.
He nailed it.
Still relevant. That's right. I
I
wonder
want
if
this
the
noted
Wizard
for the
of Oz-
record to the Patriots and to you, Chris. This is like 100 years old almost, and it's not changed. Not a thing.
It's the truth. And so that leads me to question whether the Wizard of Oz is still relevant today. If somebody goes down to Nancy Pelosi's office, dumps a bucket of water on her, she melts and starts saying, "I'm melting and I can't get up."
Did you see her face last night? It was
Yes.
like,
She
oh
looked like
my
she was
God! It
chewing
was
her
like
cud.
she was going through some sort of a spasm from some sort of mind-altering drug or something. I mean, wow.
Yeah. She kind of she kind of lost it a little bit. And she's chewing on her cud there like a cow, but it looked really kind of silly. I
Yeah.
did find out that Donald Trump announced the real solution to the immigration problem and how it was solved during the State
Oh,
of the
good.
Union. Yes, this was a fine moment, and he's 100% right.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
That's right. We're back, baby.
There we go.
America's back.
Well, America, it's
true.
not even just America. It's common sense. You can't let unvetted illegals run around willy-nilly. All of Western Europe's learning that. We learned that, but they just kept doing it.
That's
And
right.
people finally stood up and said, "You're trying to destroy the nation."
That's right. You can't do it willy-nilly or slick willy, as Bill Clinton would say.
Even Slick Willie wouldn't do something like that.
No, well, so that's the thing. So there's a video, short clip of Joe Biden. Joe Biden. I posted yesterday on X, where he says to this press pool at a departure ceremony, he's getting ready to go on Marine One. Oh, I need authority from Congress to act. I've asked for the authority since it was all nonsense. We all knew, the Patriots, and we knew, but it was like, I don't know why it took so long for for mainstream America to recognize the guy's lying. He is doing everything he can to stop the enforcement of laws. And so again, President Trump rolls in. What, it's like 6 weeks now? It's already fixed. Lowest levels ever.
All he needed was to do it right. That's it. It's just look,
Well, he had to pick the right people. Tom Homan's the right guy to do it. He's not.
right.
He's not.
That's the other thing. That's right. Yeah. Mayorkas and ICE at the time, they were deliberately weak. They weren't weak in numbers. They weren't weak in forces. They were leashed, and they were forcibly, deliberately made weak.
Yeah.
Mayorkas made
Trixie
sure
said that.
Right.
I think she's right. I think she said that Trixie's saying that Pelosi had vodka gummies, which is probably true. I wish I could get some of those. Those could be pretty interesting.
Oh, by the way, here's another picture of the lovely cultettes. I mean, take a look at these women.
Yeah,
The only one, even the crazy chick on the
frauds
right,
in fuchsia.
yes.
It's fuchsia. It's not pink. Look at it. It's fuchsia. I don't even get the color right.
Well, the middle two, I think, are wearing pink, right?
Yes, those two.
I don't know
Everybody
what
else
the hell
is
the
in
chick from
fuchsia.
Connecticut's wearing.
She's wearing fuchsia. The chick, she's not. The guy pretending to be a chick is in fuchsia. The rest of them are all fuchsia too, except for the two in pink in the middle there. They can't even get their freaking colors correct. I mean, they should have gone to Home Depot. It's like, hey, you got any color swatches for pink so we can match? I mean, what is wrong with these people?
This is not only
Confucia. That's good, Chris.
Do you remember the band In Living Color?
Yes.
The song Cult of Personality. This, my friend, is the cult of annoying personality.
Yes.
We should make that that would be a good parody song. The Cult of Annoying Personality. We have a lot of names we can list. Al Green should be right in there. Let's see. How about a little more Trump? Want to hear some more Trump?
Yeah, let's go with some more of the president.
All right.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
He got to troll everybody that went after him and tried to throw him in jail and tried to deplete his resources over the last. They tried to anybody that tried to Borsellino him. He just got them yesterday.
Yeah. So, by the way, a little side note: I just got a text from one of our mutual friends who's not happy. She feels that the president has turned the world against America. It's like I was polite, but I said, "Yeah, we like it."
Oh, the world isn't against
we
us.
may not be friends after this. Just say it. It's like, yeah, we're okay with this.
Well, here's what I'm
don't
thinking.
care.
The world is not against America. Now, Zelensky did pull the small violin thing. Gotcha. He does know how to tug on heartstrings because, and keep this in mind, he's an actor. Pragmatists can.
I
see
said
through.
this morning.
Right.
He's a guy that wears high heels and reads a script. I said this on Newsmax.
But he's good at it. He can
I don't know if
manipulate.
he's good.
He can manipulate emotions. He manipulated the emotions of the likes of Justin Trudeau, who's an emotionalist. Keir Starmer, he's an emotionalist. That's what they do. They appeal to people to just keep getting votes.
Yeah.
They don't.
And by the way, for MK Hart, I did get the Pocahontas comment in on my interview this morning too.
Yes,
When,
we're going to play that. By the way, trust me, we will.
Yeah.
Play that.
Oh yeah. Well, keep going. Keep going. Don't let me interfere.
Oh, by the way, I like that Super Trooper. Yes, feelings. Feelings. Absolutely perfect. But feelings, while they're not facts, they have to be considered when it comes to politics in the U.S. and international politics because that's what's going on.
That's right.
The way it's easy to manipulate a narrative if you can tug on a large portion of the Western population's heartstrings.
But
And
you know
that'll work.
you know what the song says. Don't tug on Superman's cape. Jim Croce said that, right?
Don't spit in the wind. And don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Donald.
That's right.
I changed
That's right.
the words a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So, all right, keep going. What else we got from the Donald?
All right, okay. Let's do the Pocahontas clip. He had a little fun.
Let's.
He did enjoy himself during this thing, and he really. I mean, look, Jamal. What's his name? The guy that looks like Cory Booker. No, sorry, Jeffries. Yeah,
Jamal.
that's right.
Oh
No,
yeah,
Jeffries.
Jamal.
Yeah,
Jamal,
that's not Jamal.
the Marxist. Marxist Jamal. Yeah.
Kami Jeffries. I forgot his first name again. Hakeem Jeffries called this the most divisive speech, divisive SOTU ever. And I'm thinking he must have fallen asleep over the last 4 years.
Slotkin too. Slotkin's response. The
Yeah.
Senator Slotkin. But we'll get to that when
Yeah.
Jerry gets here.
But I'm thinking he must have been asleep for the past 4 years, not noticing how divisive Biden was. But again, I don't blame him for falling
They don't
asleep during those. He didn't have fun moments like this.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah. You would say Pocahontas says yes.
Pocahontas. I love it. Look at Mike Johnson. He's smirking.
So I know it's so great because like
not to laugh.
Johnson has to be like, oh, I can't believe he said that, but he's dying inside, and then J.D. Vance doesn't care. It's like, yeah, it's just funny.
He is trying so hard not to laugh at this and trying to be. Well, I just told people to hold decorum. I can't burst out in laughter. Dr. Corsi's here right now. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, hi guys. How are you?
Good morning.
I'll tell you, that was something last night, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, Jerry. We're just talking about Al Green, and we're thinking he should redo a 2025 version of theme from Shaft because he's about to get the shaft. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he needs to be retired very quick. I think these. No, actually, I'd like to make him the poster child for the Democratic Party. He and Nancy Pelosi, who wouldn't want to be part of this party? I mean, they look like skeletons from hell.
They are the party of Jim Jones.
And
Jefferson Davis. That has never changed.
That never changed.
So, that is absolutely true.
So,
and of course,
I want, and then we just played. I don't know if you saw. We played the clip of Bob Hope, which it never gets old of him calling them out for being zombies, which is great.
Yeah.
They don't know what they do like zombies. So, Mike. By the way, so Jerry, you're back on the air, right? You have your show's back. I saw some.
I've got Corsi Nation. Corsi Nation's back.
Tell us about that.
So it's just what happened was, of course, first they wanted to put me in prison with the Mueller investigation. That was 2018, 2019. And my wife wanted me to, quit politics. She was the post-trauma stress syndrome was overwhelming. And I did for a while. Then she had an
Yeah.
affair and decided to divorce me. And so, okay, that marriage is over after 32 years.
But Jerry, is she a Democrat?
I don't think so, but I mean, she was never really that deeply involved in politics. It kind of, I don't think she's certainly not like me in terms of politics. I live and breathe the politics. I have all my life.
Right. Oh, we do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's critical to me to get this stuff right. And I've been fighting it for a quarter century as my full-time occupation. And so therefore for me to quit it was really traumatic, but I was married to her. I felt like I should take into consideration what she wanted me to do, so I complied with her wishes. But then she ended up having an affair with, her cousin. It's a long story. We sponsored a cousin from Argentina. Claudia lived with us, and she had a open heart surgery 3 times, and she had double mastectomy and died. And Monica, in the house, decided to have an affair with her husband.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, well, it's Democrat-like behavior then. She maybe not, but she acted like a Democrat. But
well, I mean, it's just
fear not. Well, it's good. You survived it, and you're here, and here we're talking about your new show, right? So
and so look, I feel God took her out of my life so I could get back to work. And that's how I chose to look. I don't hate her.
Yeah,
I'm not angry. I forgive her. Still love her. Probably always will. But
I love my exes too, but they're my exes for a reason. Just saying,
and it's done. You don't get a redo on this type of thing. There's no redo.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's done. That chapter's over. I'm in the process of ending it. I just got
Jerry,
rid of my.
Do you think you should send her on a blind date with Al Green? That would be quite a match. That would be kind of fun. I'd like to video that. That'd be fun.
How'd you like his cane? He and Nancy both had their canes last night. I mean,
he looked like Ming the Merciless trying
to.
That's right.
This is some evil character out of a dark melodrama. I mean,
We're waiting for James Bond to come by and try to get him. There we go.
This is the guy who plays the villain in the James Bond movie.
But Jerry, I mentioned this earlier when we first went on.
Yeah.
So this was so dark. I mean, the Democrats have always we've reviewed the history of the Democrats today. We went through it.
The Democrat communists. The Democrat communists.
Yeah. So what the hell got into them to make them so bad that they wouldn't stand up for Mark? What's his name? The teacher or the little kid who? What is up with this?
Well, they want to demonstrate to the country how evil they are, and they sure did. And they make themselves. I mean, who would want to join this group? Sitting there in their pink, pussy hat outfits, and then I'm glad we're going to repaint Black Lives Matter Boulevard and get rid of it. And we need to go after these groups, take their money away from them. They'll all wither away and die. But I mean, between Nancy Pelosi and Al Green, only some satanic demon would want to be part of this party. Mutilating children,
right?
Let's take their money away from them. That's the best thing Musk is going to do, is take their money away from them. All this Act Blue and everything else they do, just get rid of it. So this kid with cancer who wanted to be a law enforcement officer, and he was given made it into the Secret Service, and the head of the Secret Service came over and embraced him. I mean, this breaks your heart. And and how could the Democrats just sit there?
Well, I got worse for you, Dr. Corsi. The MSNBC decided that, or what's her name? Nicole Wallace decided that she had
Nicole Wallace,
the whole thing.
The former, she was the Sarah Palin whisperer back in the day. Just saying.
I thought she was the Wicked Witch. And okay,
let's hear from the wacky left.
Yeah, let's hear. She actually, she had to pull it. She had to go out of her way to politicize this. It's not like she just let this thing pass. So let's go for it.
I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel, and I let myself feel joy about DJ, and I hope he's alive for another 95 years, right? And I hope he lives the life he
Great
wants to live. He
comments.
wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't.
First off, this woman has just said, "I am an idiot" to everybody because the poor
Yeah.
kid got an honorary membership into the Secret
Yeah.
Service. I mean,
Yeah.
all things considered, a couple of the members, the DEI members of the Secret Service, are probably honorary as well. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean, and look at the other two, the others on the panel. They hate her talking like this, even though she's not really saying anything of any particular significance here. You know,
that's her
she's
job. That's her job.
yeah. Well, she's
So-
acting out as if she cares. And but let's hear a couple of seconds more and see where she's going with this, because I think she's about ready to change directions and take it all back.
Yeah, she's probably going off the deep end. But let's hear the rest of it.
One of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then
Oh,
live
my
to see
God.
Donald Trump.
Oh,
pardon.
my
Oh
God.
boy. Well, let's put it this way: there's a lot of
All right.
seditious conspiracy over the last 4 years, and it was
So, yeah.
I bet you was government ordered.
Yeah,
So we're gonna bring in Scott Powell in a second, but Jerry, I have a question for you. I just saw right there next to her Jane Psaki. Jerry, I asked this question yesterday on the air, and I'm going to ask you why did MSNBC think it's a good idea to call Inside with Jane Psaki? Why do they think bringing back a porn movie title from the 70s is a good idea for a 21st century show? I don't understand that.
it's the same reason they put pornography in grade school libraries. I mean, these
Oh, there
guys
you go. It all fits.
are porn obsessed.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
but see, MSNBC
porn
is
obsessive party. It's a
MSNBC
POP, a
is
porn
never mixed.
obsessive party.
Keep in mind that's also
All they
because-
could do is pop.
right, and
Pretty
unfortunately,
much.
and unfortunately, all these firings and everything else and the reshuffling of the lineup, they actually rendered Jen Psaki as the hot babe of the MSNBC lineup. So that's the sad state that they're in.
She's
right
hot
now.
compared to Nancy Pelosi. I'll give you that. So
I'm
anyway,
hot compared
but-
to Nancy Pelosi, at least to some degree.
yeah,
so.
well, you don't have a cool cane like Nancy Pelosi, so don't get your hopes up there.
I have a
Did-
cooler one
did
than
I-
Al Green, I'll tell
Did
you.
you like Al Green's cane better than Nancy Pelosi's cane?
Well,
I think Al Green had the winning cane.
Yes, yeah.
Al Green's cane smells like potted meat and aqua velva. Nancy smells like patchouli and tuna. So
I think
we'll leave it
Nancy's
there.
cane was actually hollow, and she was drinking whiskey out of it all night long.
I think
the
so.
cane flask.
think
I've
so.
seen that. Yeah, that's
I know. So anyway, what? Well,
It's the-
we got a guest. We got a
Poor
guest.
Scott.
Good
It's
morning,
a cane
Scott
flask.
Powell is joining us. Scott,
The cane
Scott Powell.
flask
Good morning,
routine.
Scott. Yes, we got it. We got to bring the guest in now. Good morning, Scott. Welcome to Wake Up Patriots. So,
Hey,
so
great.
where'd Chris
Great to
go?
be with you.
Good morning. So good to see you too. So you're a senior fellow at the Discovery Institute. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
And so
Formerly at the Hoover
did you discover America? Is that what you discovered?
Well, that's.
No, I'm just joking.
We discovered
I
America.
wrote a book
That's the
a
Columbus
couple of years
Institute.
ago, Rediscovering America. Which,
There it is. There it is.
Which is as timely today as it was when it was published 2 years ago. Three years
Amen.
ago. Now. Yeah.
Amen. So tell us a little bit about the book and what your perspective is and what you thought of the speech last night.
Well, we could start off with a speech last night, and I thought it was just classic vintage Donald Trump. Straightforward, talking about his, what's been accomplished, what his vision is, and it's all rooted in common sense. The party that he has made through MAGA is the party of common sense. And if that's not a winning ticket, there's no hope for the world, because common sense is given to us by our creator, right? To figure out,
right,
what works and what doesn't work. So,
well, it's also, I also like that it's Thomas Paine. The reference to common sense and Thomas Paine all appeals to me greatly. And, if it worked for Thomas Paine, I think it'll work for Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Well, but first to Scott, it's clear that the other side they are not on board with common sense. As a matter of fact, they doubled and tripled down on stupid last night. And so, let me ask you this because I think it's important. I'm not for a mono party. I don't think there should be just one party. I think friction is good. I'm a county commissioner, and we have Democrats on the county commission. It's not all Republican. I like the fact that you're going to have people to keep you honest. So right now, the left is so dishonest, you can't trust them to be an adequate kind of opposition party. They're stupid. So, Scott, how do you explain how far they've departed from common sense? Is there any rationale for what they're doing?
I think the best rationale is a combination of the spiritual reality that we do live in a world of conflict. We have, God and Satan. We have good and evil. And when we connect with the good forces, when we connect with God, we're going to be led in to find truth, to affirm the goodness of our fellow man, to be able to, forgive and love, accommodate differences because we are created differently. God created us very uniquely, and Jerome is very right in saying it's good to have diversity, but we have to have honest diversity, which we don't have now.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea. I mean, if you really go back to what Thomas Paine was saying, and the quote, "We have it in our power to begin the world over again." That's Thomas Paine. Common sense. And Trump is saying the same thing. He's saying that, this is the golden age of America. We haven't imagined how great we can be. We haven't imagined the heights to which we can rise. In other words, Ronald Reagan had the same thing. It's morning in America. We're just beginning. We shouldn't look at it as if our greatest days are past, which is what the Democratic Party is all about. The Democratic Party wants to demonize America. It wants to make us wrong for existing, want to enslave us in order that they can have power. These are the dark forces.
They are very dark.
And when you see symbolized by the aging and the hate, I mean, Al Green was hateful last night. Yeah. It just exuded hate. And it was right to remove him from the chamber. But again, the chamber lightened up with him gone.
Yeah, but not. I mean, they didn't stand. Chris, was there? Did the Democrats stand up for anything except for funding Ukraine? I think that was the only thing they clapped for, right?
That's Ukraine about it.
When he called out. So that's my point. It's like, okay, yeah, you got one guy left the Jim Jonestown. They kicked him out, and it's like, go out in the woods and do whatever.
Back to the
children. The rest of the flock sat there drinking their Kool-Aid. Well, drinking the vodka, depending if you're Nancy Pelosi or not. But it's very clear. And Scott, I agree with you. We talk all the time here on our program about spirituality. We talked yesterday. We always have Karen Turk on talk. We do Jesus Jesus calling. I've talked about my sobriety being based on spirituality, coming up on 33 years in June. There's no doubt that there's a spiritual essence that's critical to the success of individuals. I think you have to find the path to God. Everybody's unique. With that said, you have a party that's devoted to secular nonsense. I mean, there's like they just don't believe in anything. And so that's what, again, last night, I think even CBS admitted that 80% of the American people approved Donald Trump's of the speech, which is great. But they seem to want to destroy any chance they have for coming back. Is this? Well, let me just ask you: is that satanic? Are they possessed to the point of where they can't actually recognize that they're about to go off a cliff and maybe lose control for 2 generations?
Well, let's hope. Let's hope so.
Well, I mean, look, what they stand for. There's every bad idea you can imagine. The Democrats embrace. Okay, so let's have electric cars. Okay, well, and now they're burning down Tesla chargers because Tesla's working, Musk is working with Trump. So therefore they've turned on electric vehicles now. And they climate change, all these nonsense ideas, which wind and solar, we've got every idea that the Democrats, gender, we got to change the gender of children. We've got to have pornography in the schools. We've got to teach Marxism. We're an evil country. Every idea they've got doesn't work.
Well, see, I have an idea, Jerry. I have an idea that's going to help. So I think we all recognize fighting pornography is a good thing. Why don't we propose a like not pornography, but like a calendar of senior Democrat leadership wearing Speedos? I think that would put people off of pornography in their breakfast for like a month. What do you think, Chris? Do we do that?
I think that would put people
Chuck,
off Democrats.
Chuck Schumer in a Speedo. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi in a string bikini.
Well, that crazy chick from Connecticut.
Oh my God! Yeah, Della Rosa.
I'm done,
man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's right. Or crazy Maisie Hirono.
Yeah,
her she'll be in a tiki.
See,
dress, right?
that's like you could get people to they volunteer to have vasectomies after seeing that. Man,
yeah.
Well,
maybe they should do a double pose with Jayapal, and of course maybe we have. This is just getting bad. I can't even. No.
How about holding up these signs?
I
loved holding up these signs, as if that means anything. They're all holding up these signs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got a picture of that. That's a good one right here. I posted one earlier. Let's see if I can find that again. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there we go.
Did you see that one of them says, "I smell like Musk"? That was kind of a cool one.
There we go. No, I read these.
Yeah, I am an idiot.
Now we know it's Photoshop, but it still tells the story.
Yeah, well, it should say I am stupid.
Right.
I am stupid.
I'm with stupid with the finger with a point the writer.
So Scott, they threw out Al Green, and he didn't even get to sing his song "Let's Stay Together." It's sad, but maybe next time. It's like it should have done like a song and dance on the way out.
He should punish him by doing "Put a Little Love in Your Heart" again. So
that's right. That's right. So, but Scott, so let me ask you this because we just brought up the issue regarding the paddles. Should they have been thrown out? I would have thrown them out. It's like I would have just stopped. It's like, okay, this is stupid.
It's juvenile.
By the way,
it
isn't just about the Democrats. They demeaned the House of Congress by doing that stuff, right? I mean, am I right, Scott?
Yes, they did. Sure, absolutely. That this is who they are now. It's not just a lack of common sense. It's almost a if we define, the forces of good and evil, God and Satan, they exhibit all the dark qualities, satanic qualities, and we've all heard of some of their practices with pedophilia. They are connected to very dark worlds, and when we're connected to dark worlds, there's a spiritual reality that is associated with dark world behavior.
Oh,
and,
yeah. I know that.
Sorry to say, but the Democrat Party is really lost, and it's spiritually dark. It's a spiritually dark party. So let's hope that the forces of good can fully triumph, and that this party will be marginalized. And I don't know that they come back. For us to come back in our lives, we have to repent, right? We have to acknowledge where we went wrong and ask God's forgiveness, and we can make a new start. I don't see these people doing that.
No, I think
they'll double down. They'll double down now.
No. So the first thing you have to recognize, being in recovery, you got to recognize you have a problem, right? Right, Scott? I mean, these people they haven't got there.
They think they're altruistic.
Yeah, you got to like, hey, my life has become unmanageable, and I got to get help. No, they don't get that. As a matter of fact, they think somehow they're still on the right side of history, and that's why I don't understand, because it's like they are literally using imagery, to your point, Scott, that is satanic. they're attempting to tell people, like, and I mentioned this earlier before you came on. Al Green did an interview right after saying, "Oh, I'm justified in my bad behavior because Trump may cut poor people stuff like Medicaid and Medicare, and they're going to bulldoze this. Like, it's insane. It's literally opposite of what's happening, but somehow they believe lying will benefit them. So in the past, it's true, it has, but the thing that Donald Trump is doing right now to change that is the fact that he's cutting out all of the programs that they had that the government was funding and funding them, and that's how these members of Congress. Jerry, you can probably hit this. You had that one senator, that racist senator, White. What's his name? Chris White something in Connecticut.
Yeah, I'll get that for you. There are a few of those that were complaining.
So his wife, while he was getting like his substantial congressional salary of like nearly $250,000 a year, it's up there. By the way, yeah, they get allowances. They have an allowance that basically doubles their salary. Don't be thinking that congressmen only get like $221,000. It's like no, they have a budget that they have, like an account that they can
nice
use
big expense account.
Big expense account. Just saying.
And they aren't taxed, by the way. Those expense accounts are not taxed.
Yeah. So they basically have double the salary they're credited with. Just saying, since I deal with members of Congress. And by the way, Jerry, did you know one day I won't lose track of this, but Louis Gohmert, my friend Louis Gohmert, Congressman Gohmert, showed me. He said, "Tony, come back here." For those members for those folks who've been on Capitol Hill, members of Congress have their own little private study where there's a toilet and all that. Louis says, "Have you ever been back in one of these sections?" Like, no. He says, "Come back here. I want to show you something." I thought he was going to show me like a gold-plated toilet. No. He brings me back. He says, "Look at that. You know what that is?" I said, "That's a safe." He says, "Yeah. We've all got these safes for bribes." Back in the old days. No, he says, "This is Louis Gohmert. This is Judge Gohmert." He says, "No, every member of Congress had this because in the old days, people would show up with satchels with hard cash, and that's where they would put it."
Well, the Congress it's also an outmoded institution in the way it behaves. These people all making millions of dollars one way or the other.
Well, that's my point. So let me get back to my point. My point is that White House, Senator Whitehouse.
Senator Whitehouse, that's his name.
Senator Whitehouse, he only got his phony baloney congressional job. Work, as they say in Blazing Saddles. He had his phony baloney job, but his wife was getting like $14 million a year for her phony baloney nonprofit, and she was pocketing like between $2 and $3 million. That's how these people get rich. So, Scott, what do you think is going to happen now that Donald Trump's onto them, is going to defund all of their nonsense?
Well, I just hope he does defund all of their nonsense, because that will be a game changer. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
We're always told follow the money. Well, Doge has performed that function extraordinarily well. Following the money has revealed, more massive fraud, misallocation and abuse than we could have imagined. Actually, it's really, and it really explains a lot. It explains why these minority, narratives get launched. Take the transgender narrative. Come on, where did that come from? Everybody knows that, we're created either boy, girl, man, or woman. That yes, there are people that may have some gender dysphoria. Most of them grow out of it through their adolescence. But we know that promoting this is really crazy, and it's it leads the people who go through the process then don't belong anywhere. They have psychological problems. They're unhappy. There's no good outcome to the transgender movement. We knew this before it would even be launched. So how did it take root? It took root because it got all this funding. Okay. So a lot of these false narratives that prevent the good life from basically being the norm, are are funded, and if they didn't have the funding, we wouldn't have these false narratives taking root as they have.
Right. So, yeah, Jerry, I got a question on that. So, do you think that if Donald Trump had come along or sooner to get into the middle of trying to defund all this, do you think that they would have been able to prevent Chuck Schumer, his wife, from transitioning from a man to a woman?
Well, I think that's a question that belongs to Macron. Macron should talk about that. I mean, he's married to a man. I mean, an older man dressed in a dress. I mean,
I got to tell you, the key parties between the Macrons and the Obamas and their friends, they must be very interesting.
I'll tell you. I mean, these things are so dark. They're
very dark.
They're very dark.
Wasn't there? I think there was a movie made about those parties, Chris. It was called Sausage Party. Is that what it was called?
But yeah. But these are the when the Macrons are at the key parties, they're every other couple is probably saying, "I hope I don't get the guy. I hope I don't get the guy. I hope I don't get the guy."
Yeah. Well, look.
Oh my!
Every perversion, every bad idea, every destructive impulse. That's what the Democratic Communist Party has become. They're not Democrats anymore. They're Democrat communists. They're neo-Marxists or cultural Maoists, and they believe in anarchy, and so the Satanism that's at the core of Silicon Valley and Hollywood and the pedophilia, all these evil things that they are embracing. And sad to say, you got an LGBT Pope, and and the evil that's going to come out in the next couple of years as these things get investigated are going to shock America. We're going to find out that the CIA has been in the drug business since its inception.
Yes,
it's been running the sex slaves and pedophilia trades and all the dark money that they did. We'll find out we loved Ukraine, decided to champion Ukraine because we liked the money laundering that could be done through.
Of course.
Right. Absolutely.
We're going to find out that all the manufacturing of all these arms and everything we've been doing is the reason we're fighting these wars, that Smedley Butler was right. War is a racket. Okay. And so finally, we're going to realize that when these people are preaching war, they're preaching their profit. They don't intend to fight the wars. They intend for you to fight the wars and you to die while they make the money.
Yeah. Right. Well, absolutely. To that point, they had I think it was a German reporter was interviewing von der Leyen, the EU president. EU
von der lost in the wilderness.
Von der crazy, as they call her, on the Duran.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't she the perfect embodiment? She's a perfect embodiment of what the EU is. It's kind of like gender neutral.
Well, she was asked. She was asked directly, "Would you send your child to fight?" Oh, of course not. Oh no, why would I do that?
Yeah, right.
And this is literally all about other people fighting their cray. Yeah, she's cray. She is nuts.
Yeah. Well, and again,
she's all for
So Zelensky immediately flies to Great Britain, and of course they have so many trouble. They can't protect the women from the roving, raping Muslim mobs that they've allowed into the country. So they're gonna say, okay, we'll give you billions of dollars to go fight Russia, and we're gonna send troops with you. Well, the British Army at this point, I think, would be better running a transgender parade in front of Buckingham Palace than they would be fighting an army in Ukraine.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing this up because I don't want to. So, Chris, I got a text. I'm getting text from a European person.
Yes, one of our mutual friends.
One of our mutual friends who is they I think they're coming. They're walk to the light. I think they're coming to the light, but they're not quite there. So they're offended.
Forgive her.
They're offended. She's offended. Kind of offended. She thinks that it's bad. Now I'm just going to I don't want to get her in trouble.
Sounds like that's her problem. It sounds like a personal problem.
Well, no, but I'm trying to illustrate a point because, Scott, you feel the same way. I think Jerry and Chris and I feel. It's like, no, it's important for us to be definitive in our view of who we are as a people, so then we can lead. It's not America first doesn't mean America only. This is where I think people get it wrong. It's like, no. We want to have a strong Poland. We want to have a strong Hungary. God bless you. We want you to be strong, but don't depend on us. don't look for us to pay your phony bills, because van der Leyen, she basically proposed, Jerry, I'm going to laugh right after I say this.
This is good.
That the Europeans raise $850 billion of weapons. Like, they're not going to do that.
No,
That's like,
they're not even going to really. It's going to be one of those things. Nah, where's another thing we're never going to do?
Well, Trump had the best line. He said they're buying more Russian
Right.
oil and gas than they are supporting
But
Ukraine.
forgive our friend. She has been getting propaganda from the BBC, the
So that's my
state-run media,
point.
every day.
that's my point. So what happens then when we have these flashes of facts, they get offended. Scott, do you agree? I mean, is the world offended because they're just getting to be told the truth for the first time ever?
Well, this is, I think, the most significant accomplishment of Donald Trump. One of his most significant accomplishments, and it really started in his first term, was destroying the media, the fake media, repeating it over and over and over again. And finally, just as false narratives take root, that's how propaganda works. You repeat the lie over and over and over again, and people say, well, there must be some truth there. Well, by the end of Trump's first term, Americans figured out, it really is a fake media. We can no longer trust the media. And so this was a major accomplishment. It's really interesting when we talk about God's hand in America. Trump knew that he was defrauded in the 2020 election, and he was determined.
No doubt.
I've
said that.
To correct
I've
that.
changed my tune on that. Yeah.
But in all honesty, God had another plan. God wanted him to be out of office for 4 years, to get trained and learn and get prepared to really go in and be a incredibly effective president, because the problems are so deep, so broad, that he needed to be ready for that. Meanwhile, the American people needed to wake up. And so it happened that this totally incompetent, senile candidate, Biden, was put up by the deep state because they knew they could manipulate and control him.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
But the fact of the matter was that those 4 years woke the American people up in a way that they hadn't been woken up before. And so the combination of those two things allowed for a resounding victory by Trump in the 2024 election, and an incredible, out of the gate, what he's accomplished out of the gate in the first 5 weeks has been unbelievable. I would not have believed it was
6
possible
weeks
to do this. Yeah. So we really have to say, thanks to God that he had his hand in all this, preventing the vote fraud from, restoring him to his rightful place a second consecutive term. It's much better that he skipped a term, and he's far more effective, and that's what we need. So it's incredible.
There's two. First of all, it also is important that we see how evil these people are. So the 4 years, the Democrats got to demonstrate how evil they are. And secondly, Trump has really won 3 elections now. He's been 3 different times he's won. Okay, so this limitation on how many times you can run for office is already in a sense been broken, because we know he won in 2020. Okay, and that's just a fact. We can't say we stop counting in the middle of the night, all these ballots come in and suddenly Biden's on top. I mean, give me a break. How gullible can the American? And then you're not allowed. We had this show in Great Britain; they'd be arresting all 4 of us right now. That's the problem.
That's right.
You can't. If you can't speak, you don't have any freedom, and so therefore,
that's the thing. So that's the thing too, Jerry. And we got to wrap it up here. But one of the key things that has happened, and let me circle the square here on a couple of things. First off, J.D. Vance went to Europe, to Germany, and said, we no longer share values. The idea that you can be arrested in England for praying silently on the street, or in Germany, you can have your phone seized, you can be raided because you retweet something or react something. That's not American values. So let me ask both of you real quick: is it time for us to divorce the EU and leave NATO? First to you, Scott.
I think we could do both. And I think we could take it further. We could kick the United Nations out of the United States.
Yeah.
If we defund,
Jerry, what are you?
Well, absolutely, get rid of them all. I mean, look, I'm in favor of taking the entire bureaucracy and moving it to Death Valley. And they can live in Quonset huts.
I love this.
They can have all the solar they want. They can have all the wind they want.
I don't know, Jerry.
Here's what they would do. They would steal Slab City from the people that are living there and just kick them out.
No.
It'd probably be an insult to the snakes and tarantulas. They'd probably be insulted to have these people.
Jerry, no. There's a continent.
It'd be an environmental hazard to put them out there.
No. I have a better place. So I think we can all recognize there's one continent that's been kind of neglected. So why don't we put the United Nations next to Camp McMurdo on the South Pole? They have a whole continent they can go explore. What do you think?
It's a good idea.
Give them some sled dogs, like go explore.
It's a good idea.
Make yourself useful.
I think there's a lot of deserts that could be populated with bureaucrats all over the world.
No. I like the ice. I want to put them on ice, Jerry. Ice them down. Ice.
They probably use those for martinis. So I want to put them where there's nothing they can do except to get to know the tarantulas and the snakes better. So the point is that
the Gobi Desert. Then,
if we quit funding the United Nations, it closes. We quit funding NATO, it closes.
We're on that road.
We quit funding Ukraine, there's no war. We quit funding the Democrats, there's no Democratic Party. We quit, we find out where Soros's money is coming from and cut it off. We stop this
coming from us.
Insider trading.
A lot of that was from USAID. A lot of that.
It's us.
Here's a funny thing you're going to see. I know we're running into a little overtime. You're going to see in the next year or so, if all of this goes through, where a lot of the defunding and the better oversight happens, the USAID is kind of minimized to real work. You're going to see a lot of these crowds at protests diminishing because the professional protesters won't be able to have money funneled to them. You know how Democrats have screaming people with signs always behind them when they're holding some kind of conference. That Trump did something bad. He's so evil. And they have these people, hallelujah in the background. You're going to see those diminish.
Yeah, all the rent crowds are going to go away.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
And all the rent a protester and the rent a riot and all the other things they do, driving in busloads of rioters to J6 and dressing them up as Trump supporters. All this nonsense is going to stop. There's no money. There's no money for them. That's the key. Cut their money off. Okay?
That's right. Jerry, they're going to have to go back and be baristas at Starbucks. No more. That's right. We can get back to what they're good at.
They're not good at
tasty lattes.
They're not good at anything. So let them. I
don't know. I've had some pretty good lattes at Starbucks.
And by the way, you can ship all the pornography out to them as well in Death Valley. Let them have all the porn they want. And let them do all the administration they want.
Antarctica.
Camp
McMurdo,
Gobi
Jerry.
Desert. Gobi Desert.
A whole continent.
China.
A whole continent. Well, we got to go. So, Scott Powell, thanks for being here. Restore America, rediscover America. That's what we're doing. The Donald Trump is like the Christopher Columbus of the 21st century. And, we're on board.
One last thing, got suggested to me yesterday. I had to think about writing a biography of Trump. I'm giving that some thought. It might be really fun to write a biography of Trump.
Yeah. Well, a real one, not like that guy before.
A real
good one. Yeah.
A real one that understands Trump and understands what makes him tick. I mean, I've known him for going on to 40 years now, and I've watched his whole career. And it would be very interesting, I think, to understand he is clearly going to be one of the most charismatic and impactful presidents we've had. And in some ways, I was thinking last night about the impact Lincoln had upon the country, which was a fundamentally different personality and a fundamentally different time. But as Lincoln was right for guiding the country through the Civil War, I think Trump is right. It will probably do it better than even Reagan did it for leading the country out of this woke wilderness.
Well, I think you're going to see. And by the way, tune into Jerry's show. Jerry, Dr. Corsi is.
Corsi Nation.
And I'm not saying this because you're my friend, but you're amazing. You're always amazing. Your insight is something that I've depended on as a friend, but long before we knew each other, I would follow you. So I appreciate our friendship and you helping me understand things, helping us understand things. So, but before we go, Jerry, to your point, I think Donald Trump is a combination of JFK.
Mhm.
You know, I think many of us. I think we're like 62 Democrats at this point. I mean, we're not the traditional conservatives, which is good. You know, you've got RFK Jr. and Tulsi coming over. It's a combination of JFK, Ronald Reagan, and you know, a guy who is living like God has inspired him, which he said he has, and he has.
I think, especially after the assassination attempt, that's I've seen that, and I think and Lincoln was clearly guided by God, and all of his speeches you can see is the influence of his thinking was that, you know, God was directing human events. And I think Donald Trump has now come to that same perception. And once they get to that perception, they are going to get guidance and assistance that's divine. And we have an opportunity here to create a world in which these demons are sent back to hell, and Nancy Pelosi and Al Green with their canes can lead them forth.
Yeah. So Cain and Abel, so to speak. But we got to go. It's been a great show. Obviously, we're grateful for you, the Patriots, being here with us. We're grateful for you, for our guests, always great guests. And Chris, we'll be back on Monday, right? That's our next show. Trixie and
Trixie, George, and Sean and the crew will be there tomorrow and Friday.
We'll be there next couple days.
And thanks again, Trixie, for filling in for me yesterday.
Oh yes, thank you, Trixie. It was wonderful. Yeah. So I got to go off and do county commissioner stuff the next couple days, which takes up way more time than I expected, but that's okay.
Do you have a red phone in case you need Batman?
I don't. Well, you know, Jamie was saying I look like a superhero. I'm wearing my old Ironsides Army Academy. Old Ironsides is like an armor division. So just saying, we are like an armor division on the move right now, right? So that's the whole idea. Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for seeing you all. We'll see you all Monday. Scott, Jerry, Chris. And by the way, Chris did a great job at his Ed McMahon training school. He was able to drink a pint and a half of Jack Daniels and still walk 18 miles. It was quite the trek.
And not only that, I pumped iron, and now I can lift those big checks and bring them around for long distances to people's homes. Yes,
that's right. There you go.
Hey-yo.
So, we'll see you all Monday. Thanks for being here.